feeling good about it. I had talked to Mariah and then, so talking to Michelle helped me a lot.
Good. I'm really happy that
I wanted more than anything to be able to walk and be outside and feel safe. And Michelle said she felt the same way.
yes.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Is there any more that you would like to speak on? Any questions for Glenn regarding this?
I'd like to commend the fact that you're working as neighbors instead of bringing it to solve the problem. Because we're a small town, we have to solve some of our own great problems with bad neighbors or unruly neighbors, or, you know, it takes a lot to go up to someone that you have a problem with and face to face discuss it out. That's truly admirable, so thank you, ladies, for working through this.
And I had spoke with Ryan on multiple occasions, and he was very, very sorry, and I know that he was. But the dog kept it now. But he didn't want me to involve the family at all, so I didn't until Michelle, submitted a letter, so then I contacted her, and I feel better now, knowing that they're involved too.
Any more comments for Glenn?
I just see it as a very difficult and complex, small, but in your case, large problem in the past, like, you know. At the
The
moment.
past is the past.
And
This dog is not aggressive towards me,
Yeah.
towards people.
Yeah.
For some reason, she has it in for Starla,
Uh,
and Starla's afraid of her. So
Yeah.
it's not a dog fight, it's a dog attack.
yeah,
But she hasn't been bitten, she hasn't bled, but it sounded like she was being ripped apart to me.
right.
But I do have past dog
You do have some
issues.
trauma,
And my dog was pinned
Yeah.
through the ground screaming,
So-
so I was screaming too.
So-
Well, I have a quick
It's
question.
difficult.
Wasn't there an issue about a fawn?
Yes, yes,
And
my
who's
dog went
to
to
take care of
bed.
that?
I'm sorry.
There's
Yeah.
wildlife that is being attacked, is that the sheriff's department or?
We did call the sheriff on that, Debbie did, she has a friend that works in Alamosa at the Humane Society. She called them and they said that they worked with the sheriff, but the officer who came out made it very clear there was no law in Colorado against a dog killing a fawn. That's what he told us.
I mean, if you're all. Like, I don't know how I'd react to it, cause I just can't imagine, but, like. Someone could discuss it also with the Department of Wildlife, just, it sounds like an idea, so,
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that it stops here
yeah.
and that.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't happen,
Right.
even, yeah.
And I agree with that method, first and foremost, it's always been, like, even back when we were. In our day, we were, like, there was a lot of discussion of neighbors trying to solve problems before they, you know, come to I actually see any rules, regulations that the town has as the last resort, not the first resort. We have to deal with the rules when people just can't get along, you know, so.
And I did wait until 3 attacks before I contacted the
Yeah.
road enforcement.
Yeah,
And I had talked to Mariah, and then Carl broke up one, and he had talked to Mariah.
Yeah.
Carl was very angry, so Mariah got a real, I felt sorry for him, I went in the house. But Carl had broke up the fight, and it was in our yard, and
Yeah.
so, yeah. And like I said, Mariah
Well-
begged us not to bring his family into it, he goes, that's my problem, I wanna own it, and I wanted him to be able to.
and when things can't be resolved between neighbors, we have to deal with it, so.
So, but yeah, I don't want it to become an issue. I want it to be. Yeah, I want to feel safe is all I want.
Yeah.
Any more? I'm trying to see if in our code too, we might have something just about, chasing wildlife, I think there is something about that, but we have to look at it.
And Debbie did save that fawn's life. Cause we saw him, Daisy out there. Maybe she was trying to play with it, but the fawn didn't think so.
No.
And we don't know if the fawn was okay or not. He ran as soon as Debbie grabbed the dog. And we tied her up to keep her, cause they have 3 fawns in their yard now. Twins and a single. And of course, Mama came running when she heard her fawn screaming too. It was traumatic for us. It was like, oh.
I understand. So, yeah, I mean, as long as you guys are working it out, you know, the town. Code enforcement has already issued a warning, that's the first thing, and then, so that's a verbal warning, and then you get a written warning, and then you get
And a ticket is going to solve the issue. You know,
Well-
it's got to be,
Sometimes.
yeah, realizing that dog has tricks.
I know, we know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to Michelle's email, and she can speak on that, her behalf.
I speak to you.
Yeah, I can speak louder.
Well, first off, this has been difficult and I'm really happy that one emailed me and asked to speak on this still yesterday morning. And I think it's important as we're dealing with these things to realize that there's, like I said in my letter, like there's different ways to describe what's happening and to see a bigger picture. So I just wanna like to say slightly my part, not against Gwen or to defend myself necessarily, but I'd like to express some things that I feel like are important. As a town to like have some clarity and understand some things. Number one, I walk probably, number one, my dog, I have 2 dogs. I never let them go. I never let them off leash. They are never without me. Even when I let them out my yard and watching them, they have a dog yard. So I do not let them loose at any time. Number 2, Mariah, when he does not intentionally let his dogs at large. I see him, he's got the dogs on leash, when he walks them, he does not open the door and let them out. And recently, this dog that's been getting out, there's 2 of them, one's 2 years old and one's about 1.5 years. And very recently, they have the very tall athletic one has learned to scale a fence. And he's been trying to fix the fence and it is an issue that now I'm kind of running down there trying to the family's trying to help and create fencings and solutions. And neither of them are vicious dogs. I mean, Gwen said it. The sheriff said it. I mean, the analysis is we don't have a vicious dog, that it's loving and sweet, and there is an issue with getting out. So I acknowledge that 100%. There have been no injuries. I feel bad that I told Gwen yesterday, I don't think that she has to deal with those dogs, the dogs getting out and bothering her when she's on a walk. And so I acknowledge that as a problem and I feel 100%. Again, I know what it'd be like to be your shoes. I walk my dogs, like I said, in the morning and the evening, on leash all over town. Which leads me to the next thing I wanna say is that we have, even yesterday and the day before, every day, there are dogs who are at large, who the owners let them go, that I deal with every day. And in town and throughout the winter, and I deal with it. And those dogs have been seen chasing deer. I mean, it's hard because of animals, they chase rabbits. They are wandering the neighborhood, my dogs and my son's dogs who are fenced in, like see these dogs in our yard, on our properties, and it instigates them. And, I'm addressing it now because there's a dynamic between the dogs when you have some dogs who are contained and some dogs who aren't. Starla is a great dog. She's not vicious, she's loving, she's sweet. But when Gwen's not here throughout the winter, I've seen it with my own eyes, the boys or Carl open the door and let Starla go. So Starla's in our yard, there is a relationship between Starla being in our yard and being let go and at large, and it just creates a dynamic. So I just wanna paint a little bigger picture. Even though we all have some responsibility, and Kid and Janet, their dogs are, they don't walk their dogs are large, and I'm not even trying to put a complaint down. I mean, I've had to deal with it, they have a new dog that they rescued, charging us, my dog, I have under control. He's learned to not reactive, their dogs are on our properties and all around, so there's a dynamic. Even Dana, her dog, I walk by her house, Dana's dog is large, it's not causing a problem that I've seen, does it chase deer, does it chase chickens, I don't know. But we don't know, so this Ryan's dog was seen chasing chasing the deer, accosting the deer. And that's real, I understand that, but all I wanna say is that there's a bigger dynamic, it's not just, we're really, really, many, many years ago, a dog that I raised as a puppy, bit webby, and I take it really seriously. I do not ever want that to happen again in any way. So I'm 100% feeling very engaged and wanna solve the problem, but I just want everyone to see that there is a bigger issue. And it's not just like, we're not just the problem, even back when that happened with the dog we used to have in Gwen in 2019, there were dogs at large. And that just creates a dynamic, and I would like to look at that.
I had one yesterday, all week long.
Yeah.
I have one in my yard.
There's-
It's
It's all over
and
town,
my cats are indoor, outdoor, and I worry,
yeah,
some kid's gonna get bit, but every single day I see this dog.
when I was helping Ryan, there was 4 dogs out.
Yeah.
And we were constantly in pursuit, we're not neglectful, trying to solve the problem, I just wanna say that.
First their owner.
No, it's a real thing, it's constant in our neighborhoods, in town, I walk like all around quarters of town with my dogs, it's a real thing. And I just wanna say, I am 100%, we are doing our very best to be responsible, I hope the dog doesn't get out again, she could, but we're not letting her out. And I don't want it to happen again, we're really trying, and the word attack is a fair thing, but like, there's no, the dog is young and she is really kind of like aggressively playful, and I'm not excusing it. Like there's been no blood, there's been no bites, and she's not aggressive, and we are gonna do our very best. We are doing our very best to not let her get out. We're in training, I started training her yesterday, helping Mariah, and I just wanna say, we care, we don't wanna be a problem, and I feel like we are really responsible, and that's why I'm really glad we worked it out. I just wanted to paint a little bit of a bigger picture, so that it's not like we're the problem.
I'd like to say that,
Thank you.
we talked about this last meeting as well, it's in our minutes, that we talked about these, what were they?
Mud shots.
Mud shots.
Shots?
Mud shots.
Shot.
But I do think that there should be some enforcement, on this issue, I think that we should start a file where we have pictures of dogs that are loose, if they're loose more than a couple times, you get a couple pictures, you have a timestamp on it. Then that person gets I think it's a $25 ticket to start, then it goes to 50, and then it goes to 100. And it just kinda like $25, it's not that big a deal, but it will start to spread, sort of like when the sheriff comes here and starts pulling people over, it lightens up for a little while, and then when they stop, you see it start to accumulate again, so I would like people to start, from here, radiating out, like if you start to see loose dogs, send an email to Ariel, the office, and you guys put it in a file and then start comparing,
Pictures help because we do that, but I can only do it for the dogs that I see.
They
So,
usually, right.
I know some of the cross dogs and have been trying to address those dogs in particular, but it helps to know what other dogs that we're missing. I didn't know Dana's dogs or, so for a report like that helps, because that gives us a place to start.
Yeah, it stays on the land, and then when you walk out, it comes out after you, it kind of follows, sees what you're doing after. Not a problem, not like, not aggressive, but could be if it was another loose dog out. There's
Well, that's where scuffs can happen if you have a dog on a leash and you have a dog come out at you.
Yeah,
You know, there's the scuffle is a nice word. Sometimes it's vicious or they're really want to hurt each other, and sometimes it's a dog scuffle. Cause dogs have like a posture that they do, even in they're not aggressive, they might still get like in that fight just to. You know, to exercise whatever dominance or whatever thing, so.
so anyway, I just think that, you know, starting here, moving our way out, if you start to see dogs, take pictures, send the pictures in. Ian, start a file so that you can start comparing, you know, like that old game where you match.
Yeah.
I do have a concern that, and I don't know. There is a dog raider in town who has at least one dog that bites. And this dog, a friend of ours who lives in the neighborhood got, you know, was ready to shoot it. It was accosting it, attacking it, it was yelling for the owner. I heard this dog bit someone recently. We never go at it, that house, I always circumvent it. And I'm not, there's concern that if that dog got out, like, it will attack somebody.
And
That is,
and have-
it will, and it has. Well, I mean, so that's a bigger concern than, I don't have a concern about Starla, Kissen's dogs, Davis dogs, I'm because of that, I'm not complaining. I just want to know that creates a net. But there is a situation in town with a dog that bites, and that's scary.
Whose dog is that?
I mean,
We shouldn't speak, we shouldn't say the names,
Prefer to like,
address.
to come talk to us.
Cause
I
I
mean,
know the
we
dog, but it's like-
and I both know, and
It's up on
who else knows?
Fine.
Pine
Yeah.
Street,
Yeah, it's a
North
scary,
Pine Street.
if the dog gets loose, it will,
So it's on a leash?
it will.
No.
They don't, and I don't think they intentionally let this dog out, but no, but if it does get loose and it has, or someone comes to their property, this dog.
Is it like a Brendel color?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, I don't wanna complain, but I think there are people who are aware of it, and it could be, could be a serious issue. If a child or somebody who doesn't, I have protection on me for this exact thing when I'm out,
I've never seen
but I don't ever want to.
I guess I just wanna know who it is, and I don't want you to have to say it.
If someone else wants to say it, I'm not gonna.
It's on North
report it.
Street.
Public.
I still don't know who that is.
That's later.
Okay.
Okay,
I mean, to me, that could be a pretty dangerous situation, not dog
well,
kennels, not even,
if there is an attack, it's probably gonna come from that.
Agreed.
yeah, anyway, that dog scares me.
Yeah, it's scared the hell out of me.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay,
thank you, I just wanted to, just to be good.
anything else, Michelle, anything that you guys wanna comment on? For
The only
Michelle?
thing we're going to try to do is to get the dogs to walk together and get, so if your dog, because they do get out,
It's a good idea.
then maybe.
Then at least they're friends.
My dog, seriously, he could climb like a 15-foot fence. Now he's old and can't, but he would just climb, like run up and just flop
Because
over.
dogs get out,
So-
they do.
And I had 4 dogs and I had to keep him like, kind of like on a chain inside the fence, cause he would just climb anything.
That's kind of where we're at with this dog.
But now he can't, he's old, but he used to be able to.
Well, we're gonna figure out how to make them friends, so there's no issue between them. Games.
Yeah, like he could be 15 feet and he was like over 100, he would just run, like run up and flop right over the fence, yeah.
I'm gonna remind you too that Mary Lauer brought it up and she likes to bring it up every time we talk about dogs, but she found an old newspaper in a wall. Early 19, over 100 years ago, dog issue.
It's in every municipality in the United States.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna go away, it's just gonna be dealt with.
Although I do believe we're unique in one respect. We did have an issue when I got back on the board, and it was regarding a cat.
Are you?
Not my fault.
Okay, well,
No, the problem.
let's not bring that one back, okay. Moving along then, yeah, anything else, we good? We Move
I'm
on.
really happy with my neighbors, I'm not complaining, so I have nothing that I said was complaint, I just was trying to paint a picture. I'm happy with my neighbor's dogs.
Well, it is the way that our town and the POA and the county all work is based on complaints, so. You know, we have to expect that there is complaints and there might be complaints.
The last thing I just wanna say, just one thing, is that we all border each other. We all have like, it feels slightly rural up there. And I feel like we can deal with that if we just let our dogs interact a little bit, and then if one gets out, they're not gonna get in a fight. they're probably gonna be really, they don't know the boundaries right there. So anyway, I think it's mostly a very, it will be, we're gonna create a very harmonious situation, and we still keep them contained, but if one gets out, it's not a problem. We bring them back, we move on, so that's our basic solution,
There,
so.
there's
I'm not worried about
one
it.
other thing is if you let the dog out, if you let the dog out on purpose versus in pursuit, there is a difference.
Yeah,
You know, you're not, you're actually like, you know, in looking for the dog, you know, you're not. You know it's out, you're trying to catch it, there's a big difference between that and just kind of like. Open the door, let the dog run.
And I overall feel really safe walking this up. Just because I feel like, so I feel like I can walk in town, that's the one thing I said, and I hope that when you feel that way, we can walk your time, you know,
Okay,
sorry.
no, it's okay, it's good, let's move on, cause, we wanna get through this, we have one bill in our presentation of bills from our professional bookkeeper, thank you guys.
Thank you very much for.
That's when you hand into the other bills.
Oh, is there other bills
There
there?
are other bills in there, and they're right behind the.
Did Dennis, you look at them and say anything? or-
You couldn't say anything.
Find them. I don't know why, I wish there was a way, and I don't know, but maybe there is, but like, it's hard, like my whole date modified thing says. Like May 8th, you know, like on my drive. It's not a big deal, but it's like, I don't know what's new that came in there.
I think that's a setting for you,
And I-
we can figure that out.
Okay.
If you wanna look at it together.
Okay.
Same, me too.
Oh, okay, maybe I can do date.
It's not a big deal. I just go to I usually go to the town website and to agenda and then I get it where I can click on.
Yeah, I mean, I download mine just because that's the best way for me.
Things that are good.
But then I
Go to
miss
the town
stuff.
website, you just click.
Cause there shouldn't be a big thing about like date modified, it's just always in that shared binder.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's in the show, I'll have to show you
Really?
at some point. Okay, but, so core presentation.
Yeah, it's
bill.
difficult on the iPad.
See, then it comes up as July 7th, okay, so we got Crestone Eagle. We got, which Brady's for the trees that we're getting,
And
600, huh?
so,
On
yeah,
your, you have that?
is it, should
your
it be
drive.
under
In your drive.
presentation of bills?
Yes.
I have one bill, right?
It's
Slide
one
down.
file.
One file, oh, excellent, I was waiting for that to happen.
Okay. Then the big one is the Baca Grande Water and Sanitation, we got, again, we're hitting a high this month.
Our BOD is almost double. From 66 month. I did look historically and it was double, it was high, or not double, it was high the same time last year. I don't know if there's a correlation, but. I asked Brent to look into it and have a report about it for the next meeting.
So, I mean, officially, you know, Brent is really like our OR, he's trying to become our ORC for water, but sanitation actually is supposed to have, well, not in our town, but because we don't have a treatment center, but because we have collections, there's still ORC stuff related to the sewer that has to be done as well. You know, and so there's a little bit of stalling out on this, as far as I can tell, and we'll discuss that at the next meeting. That he doesn't feel super comfortable dealing with the.
Yeah, I would like to
Sanitation,
know a lot more about BOD, cause like,
you know, so fats, solids, wastes.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know, for example. I use my rock tumbler,
Right.
and whenever I'm rinsing it out. A lot of
White
like
substance.
the white clay comes out, but it, like, almost all of it is so thin. It's just water with, it's a milky colored water, so. But, and so the bowl is like a gallon bowl, and I'm rinsing it for
Yeah.
like an hour.
But it's probably not bad for the system, is it?
I would think it's a white clay and it's not bad for the system, I would think no toxicity of significance. Like, the actual amount of mud in there is probably, you know, 5 people take a poo and that's about the amount, but I have no idea what that means actually, like, you know.
Well,
How
it
much of
could
a
be
clog,
coincidental.
how much of a clog is that for the system?
There's no oils or anything used in your tumbling?
No,
Okay.
so I'm just like, now I start feeling like if they're counting BODs, like I just think restaurants are probably a huge primary source of that. But anybody with muddy boots that watches them is probably in the same, if they work, is probably in the same.
It's a big difference in a restaurant. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have a fryer, all your plates are coated, things are just like, you know, covered in
Yeah.
grease. Your whole place is covered in grease.
So I'm trying to discern a little bit more
Yep.
on the level of the town council and its perspective of what those BOD problems are. You know, because we might be either,
We,
we might be too focused on the micro or too focused on the macro, I'm not sure.
well, we're focused, we know we have a, you know, a set of numbers that we're getting, and they take tests every week for, and then they take like, I don't know if there's an average or they put it together exactly how they do it, but so every week they're doing sampling
Yeah,
over at our main sampling spot,
Yeah.
which is down by the, and you know, if everybody's monitoring grease traps, cause the grease trap, what it does is the water drops the grease and the grease is heavier. So,
right,
like oil, it falls to the bottom.
yeah,
And then the water stays up and then it goes past it. So then you, but eventually you
The
fill your
grease
grease trap up
full,
and
when
it just
it
starts
goes,
leaking
yeah,
greases over.
yeah.
So
And
they
I-
have to be monitored pretty regularly,
I'm-
especially if you're frying.
Very much considering a trap for my work sink too, cause like little rocks will fall in while
Yeah.
I'm working and so.
You just had a question on that. Is there a way, like for maybe a month, that you could just, drain that and put it outside?
I could, it is much more work intensive, you know, so,
Right, if you need another sink, I'll get you another sink, you know, that you can put outside and do it.
uh-huh,
But, no, cause, I've read a lot of the reports from, down at the sewer plant. And every now and then they get a milky white substance that they cannot figure out where it's coming from.
yeah, that might be me.
Yeah, and well, I don't know, that's why I say maybe about a month, you know, we use a different sink. And, you know, and it's not gonna hurt if you put it on the ground.
Well, I think, like, I could also report to them, like, when I'm doing it and just see what happens.
That, you know, something like that would be
Just like,
perfect.
if it's unidentified, they're testing all their standard toxins, but
No, see, that's the thing, is like, if we're getting it, if they're saying something to us like that, and they're getting it out of their sampling, they should give us a sample of it so that we can have it tested and find out.
And I can't
fair enough.
see,
Yeah, see, they're
The
not
amount-
telling
the
if that
amount-
milky substance
that
is
big of a
raising our
difference.
BOD or not. They-
Right,
I don't
they're
think, I don't think
just
that
doing a
has,
visual thing as milky
yeah.
substance.
with the
I don't
BOD.
yeah,
So
so
they're not
what?
testing.
Like-
So let's just separate two things real quick. I don't think that you're contributing much to the BODs.
Yeah,
If there was a white milky substance that they're finding,
yeah,
and we get it tested and it comes out to be yours, that's
Okay.
one thing, but I don't think that the correlation between that white substance and the BODs are in correlation.
Yeah,
BODs
that's what I'm saying, cause when they see that, there's no test that's saying if that's raising the BOD or
Right,
not.
right.
If they see a white, milky substance down in the pit when they're doing the graph.
Right.
So, yeah,
So-
there's no.
My thought would be, we, number one, request that they give us a sample if they see it again,
yeah,
that we get a sample of it. So let us do the testing so that we know, you know, what we're looking for.
Yeah, well, you can test it just by setting it on the counter and leaving it for 24 hours. Cause all that sediment would go right to the rock.
it would probably turn to a white clay.
But I'm saying like,
A very
if
small
there's
amount.
any real question, you could send it to a lab, pay the
Right, yeah.
laboratory fees, but I think it's kind of an important
Yeah.
thing to find out. It doesn't seem like they're that concerned, because they're not giving us the substance
Right,
to like have tested.
yeah.
But we do need to So as far as BODs, there needs to be another heightened level of awareness around the grease traps. You know, you could fill up a grease trap in 1 month.
Yeah.
Not if you're frying. And that could be what happened, is that, you know, for a while, it's catching all the grease, and all of a sudden you fill one up and then it increases the grease. So let's direct our public works in the next, you know, and to give us a report on the next round. If he's done stuff, that's great. If he hasn't, then we have to make sure that he's doing that, because that's real important.
And within a year, I expect that I'm gonna get some kind of trap in my work sink just to catch the heavier.
They're actually really inexpensive, they're not that big a deal, it's just literally like a tub that runs, your pipe comes in, catches the sediment, pipe
Right.
goes out.
That's,
You can make them.
it's,
You can make
I've been thinking about it for a while,
You
so.
can make them.
Yes.
Okay.
It won't keep the finer white silt from going through, but.
In
It
the
will be a
meantime-
white milky substance.
In the meantime, we have to pay our bills, so. There's the bigger one from water and sanitation. I'd rather be paying for more inspections and things like that than paying this, but we will be working on that. Govins is our printer. I don't know.
Yeah, these
A
small
stormwater
buildings,
system.
totally approve of.
Is this a loan payment or the one that says,
The one about the water system.
yeah, what's that?
That's our severance from the loan from de-obligating. This is the payment that's due to
Oh,
de-obligate
how much is it?
from the loan.
Oh,
$10,998.76.
when was that for DOLA, that's it?
That's it for just one of them.
The one, the wastewater system or no?
Yes, that's Crestone water system.
And how often does that come, is
No,
that
but,
done deal or?
wait, hang on. Is this? I'm just wondering, is this the loan or the one that we got for the phase one?
The 16 or so.
System. I'm sorry, I don't know what this one's for.
Well, we had a number of them,
Okay.
rounds of them. This is one of like 4 or 5 that we have.
Okay.
And we chose to de-obligate from all of them. Now we're starting to get letters about.
But I'm just wondering which one, if this is for the, we thought it was gonna be like $50,000 or $60,000, so. It's not.
I don't know which one you're thinking of.
Is there a way to check which grant this is for, or, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I think we should pay it no matter what, but. It'd be great if that's all we had to pay for that, even when we thought it was. Oh. Okay,
For sure.
do you wanna check? I mean, is it easy to check now, or is it kind of
Like right now?
that in their grants portal? Or no?
No, I can never get into the grants portal.
Okay.
I have to have Randy help me every single time.
So I would say,
Pull the binder that you have about the grants, the shows me.
is it really hard to find? No? Reason I'm asking is because we had a grant that was supposed to be an extension for our wastewater. It was a pretty big sizable grant. It was when Leslie was here. Leslie used that money, or so she used the money from the grant specifically to do this jetting and scoping of our system, which is something that a system needs every 5 years to 10 years. Basically run a camera through the whole system, see if there's any cracking, anything that stands out for I&I, which is I&I is infiltration of water coming in from outside that could increase our,
Cottonwood roots.
Leaking into the pipes and then making more.
making, it would increase our.
Cracks were found, but there was 56,000 out of the 600,000 that was spent. Since everything was going up in price, we decided we couldn't afford. Cause it's like what was left would go barely stretch up 1 block.
Yeah,
It wasn't gonna service anybody, so we turned it back, but we still owe that 56,000.
so I'm wondering if they knocked it down to 10,900.
Well, it says- Yeah, it says 10,000 for 18 to 20 installments. this is the part that's confusing me.
Yeah, if that's what's left or if that's.
Oh, it could be one.
Has it been being paid in installments?
It says once a year, but still, that's 18, 20 years from now, we're gonna be paying $10,000 a year. That's
Is that
not-
math doesn't add up?
There's like some high interest payment plan going on.
Well, it's dollar, there shouldn't be, it should be dollar for dollars pretty much.
I'm just gonna use bathroom real fast while I.
We can do that. It's full amount. Okay, so yeah, it's real low interest.
Not that low interest.
Well, it's 1,500.
It's like, that's like 15% interest.
Yeah. It's for this year's loan payment only. This payment is 18 of 20 installments.
So let's go through quickly the rest of them. We have SGM,
Yeah, that's the one for me. Except maybe
surveying,
there was one there that was seemed a little high. The 8,000 SGM.
no, it's 4,000, but we're only paying 465 of it.
Oh.
That was for the cemetery, I believe.
That's a quarter.
Cemetery improvements. Solana, you know about the cemetery at all?
I know that we have to start looking at improving the different area because we were out of room.
Right. So
I don't know what.
we went through a whole
progress is.
process of kind of identifying areas we could grow, and then we hired SGM, which is our engineer, to go through and start plotting. They're gonna create a whole plot map,
So you're right.
basically doubling the size,
Yeah,
but
It
adding
has to be a plan so you don't get that on.
Right.
Over grades to get the crap on that buried. So there has to be some.
pretty obviously, there has to be a plan.
And then we're also, for 2026, I believe we're gonna look into a software that can, and I think you had mentioned owning the software.
Or,
The
yeah,
house
I
you're
mean,
coming
there
out
has to be a plan for exit if you're renting, and I hate renting, but that's the way they're pushing all the
Right, they
software.
want monthly.
But owning the software is much superior, and then
Well, maybe there's like a database.
It doesn't get that.
having a common, like a CSV
Yeah,
or something that you can get all your data is really the most critical thing, is looking at how to have exit data.
sure.
So, you know,
So in this case, you know, we wanna basically digitalize our cemetery
yeah,
because. So once we get this new phase of growth. We will,
I'm getting some feeling we should have paper backups of everything too.
Oh, we will.
Like, you know, cause I'm just like, the world does not see me. I mean, even the sunspots and everything, it's just like, it's getting
I
crazy.
kinda like the idea of renting as opposed to purchasing, because as quickly as technology moves.
And
I
like,
mean, you don't wanna buy something by the time you.
well, he's saying, you know, you own the data, you don't own the operating, they call it the, what,
Yeah.
GUI, the interface.
the world is moving fast, but if you have a reputable company that's been operating for a long time, they'll update for a long time.
Just ask Ariel about that.
Yeah, but a lot of it is subscription now, and
So if you notice, I don't know if you've ever seen our cemetery stuff, it's literally like 8 binders full to the rim of information, going back to the original land deed. You know,
but I really quite dislike that this is on the Google Cloud, but we're putting all of our data on Google
right?
to look at it as a town.
One good quality road hacker to get into everything. If they want.
Okay, so. Are they asking for the full 10,998.70? And
We never been in the budget.
it's due in September, so I say we hold this one until we find out more information about it, what it's for, which grant it's for.
Could it
This
be
is the
like
only
a-
one I'd like to pull out.
Could it be like a recurring payment every year, like that?
Well, that's what I mean, I don't know if it's how many payments it is, if they sent us a whole. Just we gather a little more information on that.
For sure,
Okay,
but yes, I can't, it's not an annual, this is severance, this is like,
done.
because we de-obligated from all of our grants that we dole, and now we're gonna be getting invoices coming in. For all of.
It says this
were
payment is
expecting that.
18 of 20 installments required by your contractual agreement with DOLA.
So severance can mean a couple different things in my mind. Do we even know? I don't know in this case what severance actually is.
It means that like, we're not doing that grant. And so we're severing the grant,
Uh-huh,
so we can start fresh, they won't give us,
but we're making payments on something because of the severance.
Right.
And we don't know what we're paying,
exactly,
so,
we don't know what this one's for, so we had 4 major grants. And I think,
We only received the one at 600,000.
and this
All right.
might be,
if you don't mind
What we
just
deserve.
finding more information and putting it back on, thank you. SGM is for the cemetery, we know about that one. Utility notification, this is probably the 411 or 811 thing.
Is this SGM for the cemetery? or-
Yeah, that's cemetery, it says cemetery.
Oh, cemetery. And then, yeah, 811 is the UNC then notice to, for locating.
Okay, and then 660 is for that, thing up at the, was that for,
660 is well, partly his monthly rate, and then also for the site visit.
oh, okay, gotcha. So that's Brett.
Mhm.
Okay, Brett is our ORC for water. Official ORC, Sursa. Is the normal insurance payment, is it quarterly?
It's a quarterly payment.
Quarterly payment. Sursa,
Our insurance.
okay. That's it, and then we have Beulah bookkeeping, which is. It's on our budget to use, and then we are. Using her as best we can. And she's very helpful, so. I would entertain a motion to pay the bills. Minus the. The one payment, the 10,000 payment for the severance, just until we have more information on which one.
payment goes to who again, Sursa?
Department of Local, Colorado Department of Local.
Dola, yeah, Dola.
There's DOLA, Sursa,
Yes, I'm
BML.
definitely getting a little
No.
worried.
CMCA.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I move that we pay the bills. And except for the DOLA payment until we understand what that money's going to.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Alright,
Thank you. Pay the bills besides one. Thank you, Ariel.
Thank you.
Well, I'm wrong. Wrong one, this.
Okay.
Speaking of the real presentation, just cause Lonnie said it, would you guys prefer it as one document or should I separate them out?
I was seeing them as separate and that's a nightmare on my iPad. It just like, I have to look at each bill and touch it, punch each bill, and then if I forget one, I don't know which one it was, so I have to go
So
back.
I guess it's a.
So- So,
Board, how would you like to see it? Cause
I don't know, I like to see what they're
I would-
charging for in the month.
I would just
that they're
do whatever it is that you're doing.
I
And I go
like,
in there and
Usually I separate them out into separate bills, and this time I just send it as one bill.
I really like this, she doesn't, I don't know what your answer is, I would like to see this, this town thing where the vehicle schedule and the other bills are. It's sideways, so if it could be,
Yeah, that one got flipped around.
if it could be,
Yeah, I can totally do, I still just, I guess I don't.
yeah, it's all a work in progress, and,
No, I just don't have really, I don't know how to move forward.
I guess we could vote on it, but I think, I, on an iPad, this is much better, and,
I would like it to be in one file.
yeah,
And then
So-
just go down the list.
we got
You-
3 to 1.
Well, you're not doing it, so you have,
Yeah. I just
So-
like to see what what months. it's
That's fine.
for and what they just, what their itemization is.
No, that's, she's just saying how the file is, so like if you do individual files. Or one file that just has a long list of them.
Yeah, do it how you want to, and then I'll just, if I've got questions, I'll just.
I like it this way.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. Is that clear?
Yeah, on my iPad, it's really hard to make sense of it the other way.
Moving to, so we're not doing a treasurer's report on this round. We're not doing a finance committee report, except that we do have a meeting coming up that you know posted on the calendar.
Well, I asked for a meeting tomorrow, that's what Andrew can attend, but Dennis is requesting it to be on Friday.
Hmm.
So I asked her if she could meet 2 times, but I haven't gotten a response.
So are we gonna meet anyways?
I would like to meet with her tomorrow, because there's a lot of bookkeeping things.
Okay, so you can meet with her
that go
anyways?
over that don't. Yeah,
Okay, so why don't you just meet with her, if you need me, you can text me if it's in the afternoon,
sure. I think it's scheduled for 4.
if you need me, and then otherwise just have a meeting with her.
Okay.
I think it's really good for you to work with her,
Mhm.
it's like training and
It
then work at the same time.
Yes, because she teaches me how to do the things, so she can stop doing it.
Okay. So that's good, then my report, so I'm again kind of like, because this is a special meeting, I didn't write anything besides notes. See if I can find them in there. So, I got a email from the people who did the rights of nature thing, I don't know if you guys heard about this thing, so. Up at Pyramid Peak, which is like out in the Baca, Pyramid Mountain, I don't know what they're calling it, I think it's Pyramid Mountain, so. Basically, there's a thing they did because it was privately owned. They took it and it's really strange, but they basically made itself be the owner of itself. So it has its own ownership. And then they have a council of elders that make decisions on its behalf. It's kind of a cool way to look at it, I guess, and you can do that when land is, you know, when somebody donates a piece of land, they can choose how they want to donate it or who they want to donate it to, so they donated it. I think it had something to do with Manitou Foundation and a woman named Annie and Silver owned part of it and a few other people.
Billy Oswald, lady.
Yeah, and so they put it all into this thing, they created a kind of like a trust, and they basically made it so that the land itself owns itself, kind of interesting, but. So she reached out to me, sovereign land, yeah, kind of. She reached out to me and asked me, because we have a proclamation and a. Resolution stating that we're a rights of nature town, that we believe that nature should have rights. But she actually was asking if we would make it into an ordinance. And I told her basically that right now we have a lot going on, we're not really, don't have the bandwidth for it. But that if she maybe presented it to the board, she could just tell us what she's asking for and how that would manifest, because obviously it's gonna take some serious work by the attorney. And we have to review it and see if it lines up with us, but the idea is that, you know, if something comes up where. You know, even like this dog issue with the deer, you know, like. Do the deers have rights? You know,
Yeah, it's very interesting, very complicated in my eyes, I mean, that kind of gives the rights of the flood to flood the town.
right,
Like, there's a lot of, that limits our stewardship over the land, which, you know,
right,
if it limits our stewardship, what do we do with that mess?
right.
So,
So I just think we'd have to really look into it more
Yeah,
and get
that's-
more information.
I mean, I can,
I'm kind of a pessimist in the way that, you know, follow the money. What are they getting out of it? Just to declare us, this or that? What are they getting out of it? Somebody's motivation is
Well,
art.
it's
And
sort of
my
like its
opinion,
own national
I don't
park.
think everybody's all sunshine and happy faces. Somebody's into it for something.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, if they're not using the land and they wanna protect it for future generations, there are people who, that's kind of what the national park did.
Yeah.
There's a guy in, the North Face owner, the owner of North Face, moved to South America and bought millions of acres and made a private national park that is open to the public, but it's privately held as a, national park, protected and all that, so, I mean, he's got billions of dollars probably, or
He
hundreds.
could change the rules if he wants to later on.
Yeah, I mean, he basically protected from the big damming, because obviously the Andes have monster, runoff, and one of the ways they make a lot of money is by damming it.
I mean, I feel like I could speak to this issue a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, like the National Forest has the same.
Mhm.
The agenda they're pronouncing is closing roads and closing access to people, and there's been some cases about people that are disabled and can't access the forest. And they've won recently so that there is access rights, and I have access issues, and the forest, I don't see how the forest can take care of itself. Like, unless all the people are gone, then it can, but once you have houses in the neighborhood, you have to steward the forest in such a way where you take down the trees that are dead or whatever to reduce fire dangers, and you watch, there's weed growth and all of the stuff that we're doing, people are doing a poor job at, but it's better than.
All it is not by name though, it's like they name it, they put it in that thing, then you have a board of people. that
Right.
Actually.
Well,
but
let's just do their presentation.
Yeah,
It's just-
so I don't wanna get
it's,
too much into it, I just wanted to bring it up.
It doesn't, it's not easily brought into functional, somebody's gotta present some ideas that are
Yeah.
really functional.
So I mean, I could read her letter, but I'm not even going to, because I would expect that she will come back to us if she really wants to have this happen.
Yeah.
I just wanna let you know that I kind of put it off as best I could.
It's a nice idea.
The other thing is, I don't know.
Make it work.
Yeah, but we're.
Um, okay, here. It is. Is it? Okay, here it is. It is.
I got one more short thing to say on the last issue.
Okay.
The way the National Forest does it, they're just playing into the hands of the large corporations. It's the land ends up not being for the people, the local people, just goes to huge interests. So that's the last thing I have to say about it.
Well, that's why this whole thing with them selling BLM land, they took it out, but
Yeah, they took it off.
they took it off, but that was, I mean, everybody was putting a stink up on that
And
one.
the one thing that would have been great about that is that the people that have private land could have accessed their private land, because it was allowing road access
Yeah.
within 5 towns. Like it's,
So it's the Pyramid Foundation to Pyramid Mountain,
yeah,
is what they call it. It was owned by the Manitou Foundation. So they basically transferred ownership to itself, the land owns itself. It's a project in the United States that people are doing. Transfer the deed from the foundation up to Pyramid Mountain itself several weeks ago. The new model of land ownership consists of conservation easement on the mountain, which recognizes the legal rights of ecosystems that compromise the mountain. The mountain itself is holding its own deed, and an indigenous majority-led guardianship council which can act as the voice of the mountain for management and other affairs.
it's interesting, but.
Yeah. Self-appointing themselves a god.
Kind of like a trust, all
But,
trusts. are
You know,
like
the
kind of
idea is,
those-
we already adopted a town resolution. So we adopted a town resolution proclaiming that nature, natural ecosystems, communities, and all species possess intrinsic and inalienable rights.
Yeah, at some point, there's gonna be a showdown when the houses start burning down.
Okay, Well, anyway, I just said, that if she wants to come to a meeting and get on the agenda, she can. That would be the best way to do it. Okay,
It's a nice.
moving along. That's
Nice idealism.
Contemplate it, contemplate it. Yeah,
It's,
so,
Instead of having that being, taking up meeting time, I'd say let's set up a little thing in the evening if you wanna come and let them do their
well,
presentation.
if she has something pretty concise and she wants to, nail it down. I'm
I would
happy.
say.
I told her basically that our attorney doesn't have the time right now.
Yeah, it sounds like a long-winded kind of thing that will take an hour or two for.
Well, it's definitely gonna take more than 10 hours by the attorney, so that's gonna cost us $2,500 right there.
Who is that?
Her name is, her name is. Just had it, her name is Jennifer Menke, Menke.
I hate to say it, but now if the town says they support the rights of nature, we kind of have to.
Yeah, but we
In
don't
my view,
necessarily have to do an ordinance, we already have a resolution.
Right, we have to hear out those kind of things, or we have to conceptually, if we say we support the rights of nature as a town. We kind of have a responsibility to listen to those kind of things. We either have to get on the pot or get off the pot. That's all I got to say about it. So, and I do love nature,
Well,
but.
I'll listen to your flesh, but that doesn't mean that.
Okay, let me move on, please. Next, there was some, so on July 4th, the whole festival and everything went off really well. The only issues was after, when everything started closing down, there were people still left in the park that were doing whatever they were doing, which was, like drugs and alcohol. There might have been some stuff happening, so there's a couple recommendations I would have is that when we have events, that rather than like Peace Patrol being there in full force while everybody's behaving, let's ask event coordinators to ask the code enforcement and the Peace Patrol to come when people start misbehaving. Which is after the party. I texted Nick and I'm like, hey, like there's people still left out there, that aren't going home, park's closed. How do you get them to leave? Because
Well,
once
they
it's.
gave us a visit, but it was very cordial and.
What do you mean?
Well, I let
Oh.
Jeff park the Trump thing and
Well,
there was some shouting and my son got a little mouthy and Peace Patrol.
But that was
it was very taken care of very well.
but that was during the event.
It was that right after,
Okay,
but I didn't even go over to the park.
so I got a text from somebody and I was like, okay, I'll go look. I was having an event indoors at the Cloud, and so I left there and walked all the way to the stage. And I saw like, people kind of scatter a little bit.
Oh, when they seen you?
Yeah, they saw me and I was with Wes, cause he was kind of like, just in case. But anyway, point being, I just feel like we need to have a little more,
What was going on, just
well,
smoking
that-
and drinking or?
what I got was that people were doing meth in the park.
I smelled it before at night, walking through town, like, cause it's like a weird, like burning plastic
So
smell.
that was the main thing I heard, and so I didn't see it, but I don't know what's.
I left town like 8:15 to go to Slida fireworks, and there was still a lot of people when I left.
So anyway, we need to, in our event committee meeting, that would be a point to make is that, once you kind of close the event, that there needs to be a way of clearing the park, kind of going back to a normal rules, which are, you have an hour or whatever, but,
Mhm.
It's
I mean,
sounding hilarious.
well, it's hilarious, but
It's serious.
if there's kids running around.
The concepts, yeah, I have no idea what was happening, but
Did you? know
if there's bad things happening, we can't have bad things happening, obviously.
But I mean, the park is supposed to be clear at sunset,
Yeah,
so you could just say it like that, just everyone's gotta go home.
There's a little pearl
You don't have to go home, can't stay here.
You can't say.
and that's why we always shut the ballards down and, was because it's like moths to a light. They wanna be around that area, and and the ballards are those lights, the low lights in Pearl Park. No, you know, we keep them on, next day we'd go out there and we'd find foils and roaches and all that stuff, so
So it's worse when it's on,
when they're
more
on,
people.
yeah,
leave
you
the
shut
park
them off
and
and
hang
they don't
out.
seem to wanna be there.
Hmm.
So
We can put a timer on them.
there is a timer for it, but you know, when they're left on all night. It doesn't,
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen them on besides recently. Never seen them on, and they're really pretty bright, but we've talked about that.
So is there a way for some people to contact code enforcement, like?
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to bring up, but let me just say that we're gonna bring this up at the event committee meeting that we're supposed to have maybe today, right? What are we talking about? No.
We have, no, not so.
So we need to schedule that. Even if it's just you and I.
It seems like there's, I mean, we had a couple of deputies around during the day, did we?
Yeah,
Yes.
So,
different vehicles.
I mean, it seems like, because there's a lot of people, we need somebody around in the day. But
Yeah,
it does sound like we need to ramp up.
the
at
problem
night.
was that Peace Patrol left right when the event ended. It's like,
Right, that's a,
and it's like, no, that's not really when you're.
the only thing I could imagine is if we had like 3 or 4 people in Peace Patrol, that one of them was around in the day just to make sure, and that 3
Yeah.
of them were there at night,
Yeah.
you know,
I
instead
don't think
It
of,
was like
Yeah.
10 or 12,
yeah,
and they were all there at the same time.
yeah, that's not gonna work.
Oh.
I acknowledge the concept, you are correct, but we're gonna need somebody there in the day, so,
And most of the police patrol, like half of just come anyway to the
yeah,
event.
right.
It's like they're there anyway, but afterwards, everyone leaves. It seems.
But I mean, even leaving the tent up for the night and then picking it up in the morning, you know, just so that there's like people hanging out and just, you know, if it's an event, it's only 5 of them a year. That's all we're doing, and it just creates like a little bit more like, okay, people are watching out for our parks, we're watching out for our.
And the energy there counts as 3, cause it's 3 days.
When was that, events meeting, events?
We
I
had
had
to cancel
to
it.
cancel it, so I don't have one scheduled.
Okay.
or maybe have Peace Patrol during the event. And have the sheriffs come up in the evening at dusk
That would work.
and drive around, and that would probably push them all to the.
Well, the PR might be better too.
Cause Peace Patrol can't do anything, the sheriff can't.
No, but it's just present,
And then
Yeah.
it's just presence.
getting the DUIs off the road.
I like
They say they're
that,
fully staffed, so,
Huh?
they say they're fully staffed now, so like have someone come at night and drive around.
Well, I think the event coordinators just need to know that after hours, there has to be a little more presence and a little more. Kind of like, it can't just end when the, thing.
what you're saying is very obvious, so.
Yeah, it's obvious, but it's not.
It used to be like, Peace Patrol is the only option for a lot of people to call, because the sheriff was very understaffed, they would take hours to days to show up to a call,
Right.
you know?
So,
Now they say they're fully
see
staffed.
it, yeah, Andrew, thank you.
And
So,
is this the first, like, this has been happening every time at 4th of July, or?
no, I mean, I noticed it more because I was the one getting.
Yeah, he's right across the street from you, probably know.
And I live right here and I'm just 1 block away and I haven't seen a lot of problems, so.
Mostly it's between the.
It happened, actually, I remember it happened during the, when I had those street festivals. There were definitely people hanging out way longer than.
I definitely think there should be some encroachment on people's fun if they have the after party in
Yeah.
town.
Well, I mean, the other thing is to announce it, like after these end, we have to clear the parks.
There's,
You just announce it during the day and
Yeah.
let people know they have to clear the park, and either go home,
Yeah.
find another place to go, they
Yeah.
just can't stay in the town.
there
park.
was complaining about people smoking meth on stage, like at nighttime.
Just in this area.
And just.
I mean, it was dark, I couldn't see anything, I just walked through, I could. You know, and the other thing was they had the teepee out still, so that was the thing, they had a teepee out that was
Oh, the white TP.
behind the stage. And I think, I didn't go in there. and-
3 people walking through with bright flashlights, take care of that, just real quick.
I mean, just like I said, presence
Yeah.
really helps, so,
Yeah.
okay. So the other thing I wanted to bring up was the party that was playing the loud music in the park, over at the bar,
At the Bliss.
at the Bliss, it was very loud.
Is that Fourth of July?
it was 4th of July night. Now, I know the code enforcement and others were there and they were having fun and I don't wanna like, what do you call it?
I told them to turn it down, and Ian said that he took readings and that they were 65. So
I took readings too, I have my own decibel
Your
reader.
actual.
Was that-
I'm not saying that that we're not wrong, I'm just saying that,
Okay.
you know, there
So,
was something
Were you,
said.
are you
Well-
gonna be the party hooper?
That's the thing, is like, I actually didn't say anything until about right before 10. I texted Scott and I said, Scott, I went out and read, I was over by Karina's house. And I read it and it was hitting 70 to 75 decibels about 20 minutes before 10. And I texted him, I just told him the code, I said 55
So
after 10,
you were having an event as well?
I was.
And like I heard music and I asked my wife what that music was. And I thought it was on this side of my house, like the north side. And so that would have been
Well, it was music.
not your place. It would
Yeah,
have
it was
most
music.
likely been over here at Scott, so
Right.
I definitely.
Mine is inside, I mean, it
Yeah.
can be loud if the doors are open, but we
Yeah.
shut the doors.
It's pretty insulated with the doors closed. I try to hear the music outside before and I can hear it.
No, we've gotten a lot of complaints.
I mean, I like culture and I have some tolerance for it, but at the same time, you know.
No, I mean, it
was
seemed like a fun
notable-
party and I don't wanna like mess with it, but at 10 o'clock, I mean, we're gonna start.
It was notable inside my house also.
I think something should be done about it because it's not just the 4th of July. What I've noticed is there's no consistent close time over there, which
Right.
is fairly standard for bars. But they'll start playing music at 9 or 10 p.m. outside loudly. I've heard it from here in town hall.
Yeah.
They'll just start bumping over there it's not like a nightclub.
Well,
here.
one thing I would say is the board can actually, I was reading our code and the board can actually ask me as mayor to sort of help enforce stuff, like you guys can decide that. And so if you want me to go out with my decibel meter, like another person, I can do that, but you
Well,
know,
I mean,
I
I'm of the mind that to have a business, you should have some responsibility. And like, even if, like, to me, if they can notify you when they're doing certain things, like if they could at least be planned that far. But it might be that we need to be more strict than that. But the fact that people do things randomly, I find the most disturbing is what I'm getting to. Because then they just start having parties and doing whatever, and like drug use could get out of hand. And like I've definitely seen times where people tried to break down the doors of your store probably before you owned it, when I heard people banging on the doors and yelling really loudly at 3 a.m. because they just thought anything goes. And it's just like, this is we don't want to excuse things beyond a point because it gets to be a sickness, you know.
right,
So
so, I mean.
so I don't know where you guys wanna draw the line, but I'm saying some discipline is required.
Well, our
So-
responsibility is safety.
Yeah,
Safety to our constituents, and we have to stick with that.
Yeah.
That's our primary goal,
Yeah.
is health and safety, so if there's somebody that's threatened their potentially, that's not our.
yeah, if you let people go wild, they go wild, that's just.
Yeah, and they will.
And so there needs to be a discipline around it, and I mean, Scott might be the person to ask about what discipline he wants at his place, because he probably would be agreeable to a discipline, you know.
Well, he was really agreeable that night, he shut it down right away.
Yeah.
Right before 10.
Yeah.
You know, he does have an indoor space, it's not like it's only outdoors,
Yeah,
right? I mean, you can bring everybody inside, you can
Yeah.
still play music.
Yeah.
That, I know it's tight in there, but that's not our problem, and it's tight in there.
I am a little also of the mind that people should be able to have a little fun on the holidays, so.
And I
it's
said
just-
that to him, I said, I think
Yeah.
people will be more lenient with complaints, it's 4th of July,
Yeah.
but then the fireworks went off and over here somewhere, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, like. If you have one event going and they're loud,
Yeah,
it gives people a feeling like they can just, you know, do things throughout the town, and that's kind of what was happening.
and positive culture is what we're really aiming for,
Right.
we want everybody to have fun.
So there's we have a a code, it talks about the suspension or revocation of liquor licenses and the fine, and it says, you know, there's a whole thing about it, and actually, I think it relates to our code, which relates to state way, but there's one point, the state liquor license code, but it says that you can, it's our sole discretion to decide whether it affects our public welfare and morals. So that the public welfare and morals would be impaired by permitting the retail license to operate during the period set for suspension.
I don't even know that you have to suspend or revoke it because they're going to come up on. They're coming up soon for a public hearing
Right.
for their liquor license renewal. Honestly, it should probably happen on the 21st. And that's the time you could talk to them about it and you can approve or deny based on.
Right, so that's a quasi judicial, we're not supposed to even have an opinion about it until the actual date of that. But if people do have opinions about it, that's when I would like you guys to say to the public, please come to the public hearing if you have an opinion about this. Do not tell me, because you're not really supposed to hear it, right?
Yes.
But I am saying that there's some public welfare and morals are in our code, and we do need to take that into account and look at the public welfare and morals of the town and how we wanna, you know, keep that, because there is gonna be a lot of complaints. I mean, I can tell you
Do
something,
you need a motion for you to be able to?
become a, so in our code again, it says, see if I can find it real quick. Public, it goes by. Current. Well, where is it?
So if Ian's at home or something, and you're in town, you could kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really, I mean, even, there's certain things that I'm gonna start saying to people, like, if you wanna talk to me as mayor, you have to bring it to the meeting. Like, I'm not gonna listen to certain things, or there was one person who asked me about the road up the hill and what the town board thought of that, and I said, well, we haven't talked about it in a long time. I'm not gonna speak for, I kinda spoke that it blocked our cemetery access, blah, 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 because I know that that was a big deal to us. But I didn't say anything about access to the BLM land, because we haven't really discussed it, we haven't talked to the BLM about it.
In the air, yeah.
And so I just said, if you wanna speak on that behalf and you wanna hear from the town, please come to our meeting and bring it up at Citizens Commons. Or put it on the agenda. So, same with the clerk, I mean, it's like, if there's things that the clerk is getting, that's like, you have to make a decision or like some question. I mean, you could just defer it, you know, because is it that important, you know, that people have to get it the answer right now? It's like, no, come to the meeting, ask at the meeting, that's when our town is in session, or however, in that case, I mean, like, I kinda go out on a limb a little bit when it comes to. I kinda go out on a limb, like in this case, to text Scott and say, I think you're pushing the codes right now, you're going a little, you know, loud. We're probably gonna get complaints. I didn't say I'm gonna write a ticket or anything like
No.
that. So
I think that's a kindness.
I was, yeah, but it says the mayor shall execute and authenticate by his signature all bonds, warrants, contracts, and instruments of the concerning the business of the town as the trustees or any statutes or ordinance may require, so I already do that. But then it says acting mayor, in the event, oh wait, where is it? Is it? Oh yeah, it says, so then, as the trustees or any statutes. You know, like that, sorry. Uh, Where is it? Oh, here it is. Except as may be required by statute, the mayor shall exercise only such additional powers as the trustees shall specifically confer upon him.
I feel sorry.
It says, except as may be required by statute, which are the basics A, B, and C. D says, except as may be required by statute, the mayor shall exercise only such additional powers as the trustee shall specifically confer upon.
Yeah, okay.
So you
So-
can't write tickets and stuff
Not unless,
unless we.
you know, like, it's kind of like you guys have to vote for the mayor to be able to do things.
Aren't you also by default our town justice of the peace or something?
That's a for a city per se, but again, it can be. Right, something like that, it was like, again, it's up to the trustees to
We have.
confer.
But wasn't there also something our lawyer said about you not being able to write tickets as like the mayor or because it was a conflict
Okay.
in some way?
Right.
Didn't he say like the mayor?
And that maybe you could do everything up to writing the ticket, but.
You could throw them in the poke.
No, didn't he say like the mayor,
It's kinda vague.
he can write tickets as long as they see it happening with their own eyes? I think he said something like
I
that.
don't think, I thought it was that you guys needed to stay like out of it altogether as a neutral party and let that be like a judicial.
Well, it's after a certain point that we have to stay out of it
No,
because.
I think he said
you're-
unless you actually see the violation with your own eyes.
Sounds
I'm
like
pretty
we
he
should
said that.
clarify this.
Yeah, so if you think about it, there's two different things happening, you have the three branches of government, we have the legislative, which is us.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the board, then you have the mayor that transfers over to the executive. Cause it says, you know, I'm, insofar as required by statute and all ceremonial purposes, the mayor shall be the executive head of the town. Executive head. And then clerk and and the code enforcement are considered executive, administrative, executive. And then you have the judicial, so it's like a movement from legislative, which is writing and writing laws. Fixing the code to adjust to the times. And then moving into enforcement, enforcing the code into, you know, law, justice, you know, the third branch is really to sort of put a check on the other two.
Yeah, I do remember him saying as long as, if you guys see the violation happening, then you could do something or report it. As
Well,
long
I
as you see
can
with your
report
own
it kind of as a citizen, but,
I don't remember, do you remember exactly? Do you remember him saying as long as you guys see it with your own eyes?
Well, that's-
About like something about dogs or music or something.
I don't remember, I remember him saying that you all were supposed to like. Stay neutral.
I know the board is the legislative, but then it becomes to the mayor, which becomes it's a weird like crossover, and I've read this a number of times where it says.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I remember.
I know, and I'm not trying to like give myself more power by any means,
No,
I
I think
prefer-
we're just clarifying,
yeah,
but
so,
I remember when I was on the board for 8 years, we were kind of the mind that the mayor was the default if there was no police and no other
right,
thing.
it becomes sheriff, and I've asked the sheriff, and he said that's true
Yeah,
in the town, but that does not mean that I have arrest
but
capabilities.
there was no mayor that wanted to take on any of those duties ever
Right,
that I've seen, so like it's sort of just an oddity to me, so.
I've read it, and I have it saved on my thing, but then I asked our lawyer about it, and he said it had to do more with cities.
I think that's maybe better.
That was free.
Anyway,
Let's not do these side comments because it throws the thing into like kind of a thing. Let's try to speak for
okay.
everybody when we're in this meeting. It's just a lot easier to keep
That
order.
makes some sense.
So side comments, just state what you want to state. If you have something to say, state it to everybody. So all I'm saying is that if you guys want to figure out a way for me to be more of a express my executive powers per se by, you know, either if like the clerks, like say you're off duty, you don't wanna handle anything. Ian's off duty, he doesn't wanna handle anything. I'm available, you know, if it's like kind of an emergency or something like that, and I'm gonna get a call anyways, but in this case, I went out with my own meter I read it and what I should have done was take a picture or a video of it. And I thought to do that, but I just didn't, I should have done that. That way we have it on record, but point being, at some point, you know, there might be a time we need to have more, you know, when there's a, I don't know, when it might be needed, so. I'm just stating that, and maybe you guys just think about it and figure out a way, we'll talk to the attorney about it.
I would agree with you on that, I don't think we need to give you necessarily more power to be, busting people or one thing. I think your presence in and of itself is doing a good job, just showing up. I think we don't need all the documentation to prove you can do this, I think just showing up and people seeing that, oh, the mayor's here. I think at this point, that's probably good enough.
Okay.
I think we have to be somewhat consistent with that, but if we were consistent, anything with consistency commands respect, I think, that's an opinion.
Okay,
Yeah, I just thought the mayor could write a ticket if they see something happening.
well, let's
Let's
bring
talk
this
to
up,
the attorney.
let's bring this up with the attorney and see how far those powers go, and you know, I don't really wanna be writing tickets to tell you the truth, but I don't mind. You know, stepping up and warning people and just saying like, you know. Like, I will take this further,
Even to give a warning, you know, I guess to ask, to talk to
Right.
them about, like.
right?
And I would think anybody could give a warning, hey, quit
Yeah,
doing that.
He said something about the trustees and mayor, maybe he meant to like, to make a complaint or something, if you see it with your own eyes, then you can, or.
I mean, our mission statement says, you know, contemporary self-reliance, and I think, I really like that, because I feel like it is it's a really good way of putting, you're not just self-reliant, you're contemporarily self-reliant, meaning it's up to our times, like what's happening, right? It's not like old school self-reliance where you're like, you know, pulling your gun on people when, you know, when no laws, and you know, stuff like that. It's more like, I mean, if you had to do that, I guess that would be something you had to do, but I'm just saying, it's like not Wild West self-reliance, it's contemporary self-reliance.
And contemporary could be, in 10 years, we may be pulling our, yeah, like, it's just whatever the times actually
Right,
are.
whatever the time.
But, you know, we can definitely,
But I'm saying in this case, you know, like just keeping up with what's happening, seeing, you know, like. I think people are gonna push the rules no matter what, it's just,
a certain.
I know how it is, I push the rules.
We've all done, yeah.
I was a trustee, I held that, I had permission to close the street, have the party in the street on, the dark sky party on, Alder Street, which was the first time Alder had ever been closed like that. I thought it was a great party, I mean, maybe it could have more people show up, but it was too loud, and I got a $260 ticket. And rather than try to fight it, I just paid it out of my pocket. And I just said, I'm not doing these again because they just caused a problem. So it did help me realize that maybe I shouldn't be, I mean, that party was really fun. Were you there for that? Oh,
Well,
we closed Alder?
We did a season,
yeah,
yeah, that was.
it was fun. But it was too loud. So I got the ticket, paid the ticket. All I'm saying is that I don't expect to be above anything. I just want, you know, I'm gonna follow the rules. I expect other people to try to follow the rules, and if we have somebody pushing it, then there should be some kind of check on it.
Over time, I'd like to see the town develop into a culturally fun town, you know, and.
And it is.
Like.
Yeah, more people show up for this event.
Yeah, it just matters that we keep the culture positive, we don't have people smoking meth after the party in the park, that's exactly what we don't want.
Exactly.
And just, we wanna have fun events that people can feel safe, and people are really having a good time. And, you know, I don't wanna limit those events all that much, but, you know, that's me, but making sure that they don't devolve past a certain point,
Right.
because we could be having so much fun.
Yeah, and I think people are. I mean, I thought this event went off really well.
Yeah.
I was just gonna suggest, like, warnings should come from everyone, like,
Yeah.
I warn them, Ian and I, as far as I'm concerned, aren't off duty if we're at something in town. then it's our responsibility to like say something.
Monitor it on behalf of the town.
And I don't think you need special powers to just give a warning to say, hey, you're not within the code, because you know the code as
They're
well.
going too fast.
And then anything else
Yeah.
beyond that should come to code enforcement, and like your code enforcement officer
That's
handle
cool.
like the written warning, the ticket, and
Right.
everything else.
Good. I like that.
That's what we have
Yeah.
them for.
I like that.
That does seem to be a pretty good structure.
Also, is there a way to contact him after after the town hall closes? I just have people keep asking me.
Well, I would like to talk about that actually,
Yeah.
to talk about that during the report, because I don't think he should be on call, like. What
Yeah.
you're talking about is people calling him on Saturday, on Sunday, on every day of the week at any hour, and I. Take umbrage with that because people have my cell phone number from working at T Road or from just living here, and I have problems with that. I have people texting me at 10 p.m. at night wanting an answer right then and there. I have people asking me to do things on every day of the week that I'm not supposed to be working, or when I've already used my 40 hours of time. So I'm not saying it's obviously up to you guys.
But I think you have someone wanted to call and say, all right, T
Okay.
Road's playing the music too loud, it's 11 at night, do I need to,
Yeah, I mean, there has to be an avenue to handle that on the other hand, so.
this is an example.
But it should be going out, it's not a sheriff, if T Road is doing illegal things at 11 p.m. at night. Is Ian really going to be able to do much about that besides?
That's what we pay the sheriff for.
Written
Okay,
warning
but can
or
the sheriff-
warning.
Can the sheriff enforce town code?
No, but if there's a,
He can write tickets into our,
It's state law, you gotta have
he
a.
can write tickets into our court.
it's their discretion, though.
So let's say I just turn on my music blasting 3 in the morning and someone called the sheriff and the sheriff could write me a ticket. Pursuant.
So the sheriff is very much into charges being pressed. If you're not gonna press charges against somebody, don't call them. Unless they do something that's, like hurting you, you're probably not gonna press charges. So there's no reason to call them unless. So then you have a thing where you should be, if you have somebody that's blasting music at night, and it's really bothering you, you have to take a video. I mean, Ian is not gonna come out at 3 in the morning and tell him to shut it down.
But how about 7 p.m.?
At 7 p.m. he might, but even then, it's like if he's on duty, okay, so this is a whole nother subject. Let's move on to, let me get out of my mayor's report real quick and we can talk about code enforcement. Is he here to talk to him or?
No, he left
He left.
already. He also only has 40 hours a month to do code
Right.
enforcement. He's not a full-time.
So the people would make a complaint and then he would go out when it's not happening and give them a warning about something that happened previously. That's how, okay.
But we
Do
also.
you guys wanna talk about this now?
So like I had people come to me, like, there's a bunch of people smoking cigarettes in Little Pearl Park and my kids are trying to play there. Do I call code enforcement? Do I call the sheriff? Like, the town's closed, it's past 2 p.m., like, stuff like that.
Okay,
I
so
don't know what to tell
Fire
them.
department.
here's the
I
thing.
don't know what to tell them,
Let me just say one thing. We run very similar to the POA and we base a lot of our stuff on complaints.
Yeah.
If somebody files a normal complaint with normal pictures and they're willing to put their name on it and say, I'm really upset about this, Ian has to act on it. He has to act on it. I mean, it's like kind of, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, there's no question. If it's just like an anonymous complaint, I mean, that's like, it doesn't really work because you're not putting yourself out there enough to care about putting your name on it.
So
he
like,
also gets weaponized in that way too.
so say like one of the parents says, these people keep smoking around my kids playing, ask them to move, and they tell me to go after myself. Who do I call?
So you take a
Tell them to
picture,
file a complaint.
file a complaint.
He's not a police officer. You can't go out and he has nothing. He doesn't have a gun. He doesn't have a taser, he's got like a badge and a ticket book.
But like smoking cigarettes in the park is code, not against.
Well, you would come there and you'd say, I'm gonna give you a verbal warning. If I see you do this again, you're gonna get a written warning. If I see you do this again, you're gonna get a ticket. And whether they, I mean, and then if they don't give him his license on the ticket time, then he can call the sheriff and say, I'm having a struggle with this particular person. right?
You should tell people to come talk to us, I mean, they can still submit a complaint tomorrow, they can call, they can
So like,
email.
tell them to go to the town hall.
Yeah,
when
we
it's
can
open,
put
and
complaints
they
to
can
you guys and tell you things and we can't do anything.
Yeah, so I don't know what to
About
do,
it.
or tell them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think
They have to contact us.
part of the problem, I think, is that there's a lag time and people don't like a lag time. They think that everything needs to be done on that moment, at that moment. Now, if there is something that needs to be done on that moment, at that moment, it's probably warrants calling the sheriff. If it's just like smoking, you remove your kid, take a picture of the guy who's telling you to fuck off. You send it with a little letter to town hall, town office, let them, deal with it. They'll go out and inspect it, but
A few people that told me some, they had like kids between like 2 years old and 7, that are playing and.
there's a sign that says it. I mean, somebody could refer to the sign and say, look, if they have alcohol out there, they definitely need to complain, because I mean.
That's more to tell them to call the sheriff. If people-
Not necessarily, I mean, I think we can, again, pictures is 1,000 words, right?
Yeah.
It's really,
They'll be done with their beer or their alcohol by the time the sheriffs get there. They'll dump it if they see them coming. So it's best to take pictures and just,
So,
I mean, I actually took an anonymous picture and was able to get it anonymously,
so like,
and I sent it, and then we have it on file under that, cause the liquor license is another level. I mean, you could, if somebody has an anonymous picture of somebody drinking, like that just goes into their file and
so
then,
stuff around the kids, just tell the parents, take a picture and bring it to the town hall.
yep,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
email it,
Or call the sheriff if you need something.
If it's an emergency.
It's done right away.
right?
I hate telling people to call the sheriff, but.
We pay for the shit, I mean, we have like kind of a really good system with the sheriff right now.
I like
You
it.
know, I mean,
I mean, Dan, I like a lot, I know him a lot.
Well, they don't charge us for the bucket stuff. They were for years and
Oh,
years.
yeah.
Every time they came up on Road T, they was charging the town. But they don't do that
Oh,
anymore.
that's good.
They just charge when they have to deal with stuff here in town. And I'm really happy with the arrangement that.
yeah, I mean, it's a handshake deal, but they do it, and they know, like, we have, Swatch actually has a real contract with them, they pay them, I think, 30 grand a year. And they patrol in Swatch,
The one that's
The town.
full-time,
huh?
full-time,
They have, I don't know how it works, I mean, they're in Swatch
they're
already,
already there.
Yeah.
it helps a
That
lot
one
easier.
gal's name, I forget her name.
LP,
Yeah,
does she do the patrols? Yeah.
yeah.
But they just put her on there, it's like, they probably have it find that it's pretty even balance between paying somebody to do it and how much they receive. And they don't have, I think we probably have more crime than they do. But, like, even the meth thing, if people are smoking in the park, they're not gonna like show me they're smoking meth, you know what I mean?
I would welcome my daughter to town with dog at night, she likes to do that, and then I would smell it, I would try to get going, it smells like burning plastic or like burning hair, and I looked it up as it says,
But I mean, if you're bold enough, you can walk over with your camera and just, have it even secretive and just take some pictures and keep, I really do think that even with police patrol, even with the sheriff, presence is the key. They don't like to be seen.
Yeah.
But
So,
don't endanger yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, when I have my daughter, I don't get involved.
I mean, if Ariel's out there and if she sees a dog loose and she walks out there, I'm sure they're gonna.
You probably know most of the dogs just from the window there, right?
And I know which dog I'm talking about.
So-
And we did issue her a warning for that one.
But I think, if somebody gets bit, they really do have to press
Is it a
charges.
brown one? Yeah.
Brown and white,
Yeah.
yes.
If somebody gets bit, it's really, it becomes a sheriff issue and it becomes charges pressed. And I know somebody who got bit twice by the same dog and has not pressed charges.
Yeah, I
And
came
it
out of my house at night a couple of times and dogs just ran at me barking and they were like visiting next door and I almost shot them, like, I don't want to, but they came really close, like growling and barking at me.
So what happened with Gwen the other day, when she called the sheriff, they came and they grabbed the dog was completely, sweet, even to the deputy, just
It's friendly with people.
very,
I know.
friendly, super friendly, but
I guess this has a beef with the other girl dog.
she she did ask if she felt threatened, could she shoot the dog, and the deputy said yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either.
So, is there any more on code enforcement, cause I'm just kinda using this as an opportunity. Do you guys have a way, I mean, what do you think as far as like,
Like after hours sometimes.
yeah, I mean, I text him once in a while, but I don't direct him, I actually just advise, like,
I just think, maybe look at, I don't know, I don't have an answer for you, maybe look at getting a cell phone for him that's not his cell phone to contact him, but I think you're running into issues with the hours that he's paid, his safety, and then also, if you're not gonna get him a cell phone, then paying for a cell phone stipend, because rent is currently getting paid a cell phone stipend, but the rest of us are using our cell phones for business. So it just needs to, I think it needs to be fair across the board.
well, do you wanna request? In the next like clerk, that who should get a stipend and how much?
Yeah, and maybe I can. Think of a plan for how to contact, we can have like an after hours kind of thing.
I mean,
Or
police
contact.
patrol uses a Google number.
Kind of figure out like what's important or not, because some of the complaints we're getting after hours are not.
Yeah, I would say
Things
probably
that
like
need to be
9 out of 10 would be unimportant, people
resolved.
couldn't even call after hours or bother anyone.
Well, the other thing is, if there was a voicemail and he doesn't answer it,
You just check the
he
voicemail.
just hears that there's a voicemail, checks it, they can leave a message for him. Specifically him, and then he can just determine whether he feels like it's worth clocking in for.
For sure.
Because I mean. Nobody should, if like, I used to get calls. When I was code enforcement at night. That there's barking dogs, and I actually would get dressed. Put my pants on, go out with my camera. Take videos of it. And then file it and then get back to it later. I mean, whatever, it's
No.
like,
My dad was a deputy sheriff, same thing, people call him at 10 o'clock complaining about a fence line.
A fence line?
Yeah, a fence line, or a clothesline, and put in their laundry yet, and it looks like crap.
so.
You know,
Yeah, so
it's stupid.
we have to figure out how to allow Ian to have like a determination whether it's really important. I mean, I wouldn't even mind giving him overtime if we need, if there was enough of a reason for an emergency for him to come out. Right, I mean, we have that capability to say, yes, work more if you need to. I just wish, what I was asking was like, rather than being on. Most of the time during 4th of July, when everybody's just enjoying themselves and there's no real issues. That you find the times when there's probably gonna be issues and do the.
Just drive through town.
Yeah, walk through town, drive through town, even ask Peace Patrol to be with you, cause like that's the thing about Peace Patrol is like, they can back him up.
Yeah.
And it helps a lot. So that would be my suggestion with the code enforcement after events and. Even on Saturday nights when there's more happening or Friday nights, like. Going on for 15 minutes and doing like a walk around. And then getting drunk, no, just joke. Just joke. But no, then he can say, okay, I've done my duty.
I guess part of the problem too is people are complaining to you guys, they're not telling us. So
It's
how-
all kind of normal stuff.
Most of them knew we had no core enforcement for a while, and then like the last month, like a few people were like, oh, how can I get in touch with him for this or that?
Yeah, so can you encourage people to like,
Come to
Do you
town.
have the town office number, email? Just,
I have it.
yeah, just take that email and have it in your phone, and if somebody says, how do I do this? Just say, write a complaint.
and the office phone number too, because I have all the emails on my phone, when people call in and leave a voicemail, it comes to my phone.
Oh, cool.
And I look at it quite often, cause I have anxiety issues, so I could probably catch some of those things.
It's pretty straightforward that if people wanna make an actual complaint, they come in town hall, and if they don't wanna make a complaint, they call the sheriff. If it's an emergency.
And if they want to, usually if you're willing to press charges too, because the
Yeah.
sheriff. I've done it so many times, like, he hates coming here if people are not gonna press charges,
That's
90% of the time, people aren't pressing.
Fair enough. Maybe we could keep it at something simple like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So let's my report is pretty much done. Is there any questions for me as mayor? Or any other questions or anything you want to discuss? Okay, clerk, do you have any reporting?
I don't, I'll have a report for you, probably lengthy for the next meeting. The only thing I have to say right now is that I will be out of office next week for Clerk Institute. If you need me, you can text me or email me or call me, but I'll have limited ability to respond, because generally it's classes from like 8 a.m. to like 7 p.m. or so. So just keep that.
Cool thing about this is it's like very intensive. She gets super inspired after.
Yeah, I'll learn about marijuana licensing, I'll learn about general HR things, all clerk, always like permits licensing and the like. It's very boring, very exciting.
Where's Patty be doing?
Patty will be here, so she can help with a lot of things, and if whatever she can't help with, she has access to me.
And Susan will be here for,
Susan's going to be here for 2 days next week. To
So
help
that-
with phone calls and walk-ins.
so and then on the 21st, so just so you guys know, she comes back Friday, before.
Yes.
So then the packet is due like 24 hours in advance, so she's gonna be working really hard to get that packet,
I'm
hopefully
gonna try and have it.
Is the meeting Monday?
Friday.
Monday, the
Yeah.
following Monday.
And I apologize if this one was late. I don't have an excuse, it was just, I'm overwhelmed right now with work. But I will try to have that one out by Friday evening for you. And then something I wanted to talk about in my next clerk's report was if you as the board would want packets sooner, cause at the last conference I went to, I heard from a lot of mayors and council members. They have a similar setup as ours where it goes out on Friday and you meet on Monday. And they don't feel like they have enough time to review the information in the packet, so just wondering if we could look at a different schedule.
The only thing I could say would be if there's stuff that comes in early and you know it has to go in the packet. If there's like maybe a preliminary packet, like, okay, here's packet A and then here's an addendum to the packet.
Yeah.
It is kind of, but not really, because then
I could throw it into your digital binders, and if you checked it throughout the week, you could see what's new in there. I know you're having difficulty getting to your binder, but I send an email all the time that says like, it has a link.
I know.
In my binder, and I feel like if you click right on that, it'll take you straight to, and then you don't have to worry about trying to find it in your Google Drive,
Right.
if that's the issue.
In the olden days, it was Thursdays.
I wouldn't mind going to any day of the week that made more sense for you guys, I can address everything accordingly. I just wanna make sure that you have enough time, so.
There's one on the agenda, we have to do that by the Wednesday before.
so she's already noticing properly, so that's key, that's number one. The packets are sort of secondary to noticing.
So I could shift all the deadlines, like if you want it Thursday, then I would say Tuesday by 5 p.m. That everyone get anything to me, and if it's not in by then it's on the next
That
time.
makes a suggestion.
Personally, I think the weekends are great for me, I can do everything like on Sunday night. Last night I went through it, but it was also a really small packet.
I did last night too, I looked through it.
But
You don't have to make a decision right now, if you want more time to think about it, it's just something that I wanted to put into your minds.
it would be nice to have the ability, like you said, to be able to look at some stuff earlier. If bills come in, you could put those on, stuff like that, but it's up to you guys. I think. I mean, they're not even in our packet anyways, so it's sort of like. They're not in the actual
They're
packet.
not in the packet that goes out to the public, they're just in your.
So when I go to the digital binder too, like you said, when I newest, all the newest just say May 8th.
Yeah, I know.
But then I know where to click to find it.
Right, I was gonna see if there's a setting that changes that.
Like a presentation of bills, mine says modified May 8th, but then when I click on it, then it says bills for approval July 7th. And then I click on that and I get it. But it's still the newest for me, just shows all May 8th.
Okay, so here you can have, instead of modified, you can do like custom date range.
I did date modified, new to old is how I have it listed.
Okay, well. Anyway, I think this is something we can do on our own,
Yeah,
seems like you can add shortcuts
You get,
and stuff like that.
like, when you go to mine, same thing.
well,
I almost wish there was
Is it
like,
that you have it by modified instead of like
yeah,
name?
it's just like that.
so,
Like you should sort by name, probably.
well, for instance, on mine, let's
If I
sort
do
by
name,
name. Yeah, so there's Vision Stephen.
name. If I have it on name, then it shows.
All I'm saying is like, there's, like, everything's in there and it says modified May 8th, but then. Now it says,
Name
like,
makes it work.
full packet is modified August 23rd, 2024.
That's what I got too, and I put it on the name 20, so like the first one that comes up is the August.
I think you guys just have to show me what you're seeing,
Yeah.
because I don't. This is not what I'm seeing. Mine's laid out very, it's like 3 vision statement, 4 agenda, and it's like correlates to.
Nope, mine is that too, but then I think what it is like you don't know what's in there because you think that it's old. So like you have to actually you click on it, then it opens it up and shows that there's something.
It shows the real date after you
Yeah.
open it up.
But yeah, I've been just bouncing through everything, so.
Anyway,
Just
let's deal with this later.
Yeah.
Just know that Ariel is gonna be really busy next week doing this training, which is awesome.
My last was wilderness first responder, it was 12 hours a day, like every day, and it just, it's all been. Refresh.
How it was last time, it was like crashed every night.
Yeah.
The cool thing is you're with all your peers and get like really a lot of.
With all my clerks, and they get a lot of like feedback and support and learn a lot and build a lot of connections, kind of like they did with this conference too.
Yeah, I know that you probably won't be able to do a report on CML this next time.
I was going to for the 21st.
Oh, you were, okay, perfect. Alright,
So what else we got?
so attorney's report, no attorney today, maybe the 21st.
You should be here on the 21st.
Public Works is gonna be the 21st, Water Department will be the 21st, Code Compliance will be 21st. Planning Commission will be the 21st, we have a planning commission meeting tonight. Okay, so. As far as this executive session. I have some new information. I don't know if you guys wanna wait, I mean, the 21st is gonna be pretty balls down.
Yeah,
And I could give you guys the information now and you guys could think about it, how you wanna move on it.
I think I'm ready to listen.
Okay, so I would make a motion that we go into executive session for the purposes, let's see. I'm just gonna use my cheat sheet. I make a motion that we go into executive session for. Where are you? Oh, here, to discuss the purchase, acquisition, lease, transfer, or sale of real, personal, or other property interests under CRS section 24-6402-4A. And the following additional details are provided for identification purposes. Just new information regarding possible land acquisition. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Here is the executive session board.
Is there one more thing you do?
Oh, hang on. It's in. It's in the executive session.
Okay.
So once you turn this one off, turn on your recording. This goes on the door. You want to take it?
Oh, yeah, this one's repurposed.